Today, I'm thrilled to share something groundbreaking that takes Proxmox to an entirely new level. We all know how powerful Proxmox is for virtualization. But what if I told you that managing your Proxmox environment could get even smarter and easier? I have created an AI agent that can interpret your commands through conversation and seamlessly translate them into Proxmox API calls. Just tell AI what you need and it takes care of the rest. Whether you are creating a VM, stopping container, managing your Proxmox, getting information about your infrastructure, and so on. This powerful AI agent is built using N8N for automation, integrated with Gemini AI model, which by the way can also use OpenAI, Olama, Claude, or any other AI model to process user input and generate precise Proxmox API calls. The get and post operations, two of the most essential operations for managing your Proxmox environment. This is just the beginning. More features are already in development and I will be sharing them soon. And of course, this is low-code platform. You can keep enhancing this by yourself. I'll be sharing all the details in this tutorial. It's not just about managing Proxmox. It's about empowering you to automate and streamline your workflow like never before. In today's session, I'll be giving you an exclusive tutorial how I have built this AI agent. We'll explore its capabilities, walk you through the automation workflow, and I will show you how it is translating the human language into Proxmox magic. Trust me, by the end of this video, you will be as excited as I am. So grab your coffee, sit back, and let's dive into this tutorial. This is my Proxmox virtual environment data center with 3 nodes here. So you can see how many virtual machines are there, how many are running, how many are stopped. PSB1, PSB2, PSB3, these are the nodes. And here you can see how many virtual machines are there and how many containers are there. In PSB2, you can see how many machines, how many containers. And similarly, you can see details over here. So here on the second tab, you can see this is what I have built here. So there are multiple sections that I have made here just to make sure that you understand. And I'll be sharing definitely this workflow so you can start using this to transform your administration of Proxmox to the next level. So trigger is where you will be sending any request. It could be by email, it could be by any webhook, by API call, it could be through Telegram, through WhatsApp, or you might be sending directly the chat. So for this particular tutorial, we'll be using chat, but of course through Telegram, you can send the voice message or text message. So Proxmox will give you reply back. What is happening? The information is coming from here or the conversation is coming from here and it is going to the Proxmox custom AI agent. Now, what is this custom AI agent? It is right now connected to the Google Gemini chat model and Google Gemini chat model. I'm using 2.0 experimental flash. So what it does that it uses the intelligence, including the Proxmox API wiki, Proxmox cluster is linked, and Proxmox API documentation. So it uses different tools. AI is helping it to transform this conversation into the API calls and then receiving the conversation and giving it back. But what tools I have attached? I have attached the Proxmox API documentation. If I double click this, I'll show you that. This is the Proxmox API documentation and pve.proxmox.com, PVE docs, API viewer and index. So this is the API documentation. And I have also attached or given a tool called Proxmox API wiki. So this Proxmox API wiki is available, of course. So it is taking information from there also. And at the same time, I have connected my Proxmox node with this also. So I have provided my Proxmox node with the generic credentials, header credentials, and Proxmox. So user ID, password, all of that is added here. This is the URL of my Proxmox. If I show you here, this is exactly the same IP address. Of course, here it is not directly taking the input. It is going through API and it is using the credentials. And these are the header credentials which I have given here. So authorization and the key, which I have explained already that how you can use this authorization key. Then I have given detailed prompt, system prompt, and user prompt to this particular AI agent and what kind of intent user has and what API documentation it has to refer to, what are different examples, how these examples will be populated, and so on. All the details are here, and then I have given a user prompt. Based on this, it will do the parsing to get the fixed output. So I have used the Google Gemini, again, chat model to auto fix the output parser using the structured output parser. So this is the structured output parser. You can see here that I have provided some of the response nodes PSB1, QEMU. So I have also provided it detail that what I have. So my Proxmox environment details are also provided to it using the Proxmox virtual environment that I have this Proxmox virtual environment. And here are all the details of this. So I'll show you that also. Proxmox nodes are named as PSB1, PSB2, and PSB3. So it is just the information because it will automatically change the node name because whatever information you have available, you can provide it. And based on that, it will start making the API calls. Of course, if you don't even provide this information first, it will go and check the node details and it will start performing the actions. So this is the Proxmox custom AI agent. Based on your input, AI agent will decide whether the HTTP method is get, post, update, delete options or invalid. So if it is general message, for example, if you are saying hello, hi, and all of that, it will simply invalidate that. But if it is to get or retrieve the resource or fetch VM status, list nodes, etc., so it will create the get command and it will send the HTTP request. So here in this particular node, I have created the switch node, which will convert JSON output type get, post, update, delete. Proxmox supports get, posts, put, delete options and patch, but mostly we'll be using get and post. That's the reason till now I have built get and post only. So we'll be, of course, developing more, but just to show you that what is done next. I have provided the details that how the API call is sent. So first of all, you have to create the credentials. So to create the credential, Proxmox has the detailed documentation. So you will add the credential in N8N and your credential name. For example, if I go here, I will just show you that this is the Proxmox credential, which is done here. Name is authorization and key is added here. And what is the key format? Key format is here. So first of all, you will mention PVE API token is equal to user, which is of course root at PAM or root at PAM. And then you will mention this token ID is equal to token value. So how you will create the token ID and token value, you can go here into the Proxmox cluster. You can go here to API token and you can simply add a new API token for which user you want to create, root at PAM. Token ID will be, for example, I will say it N8N 1 and then I will just simply mention the comments. If you want to have, click add, so it will generate the API secret. So you can take this API secret and then you can use this for your Proxmox. And of course, you can give the separate privileges. Here, I have not given the separate privileges. I'm giving full access to this API. So it is going to perform any action that I want this agent to perform. And here, this is the way which I have mentioned that if suppose if the N8N is the token ID, which we have just seen, and the key is 1234. So you will be providing the API token in this way. Once it is defined, of course, what I have done here that based on the input that will come from here, I have transformed this. So you can see here that based on my Proxmox node is, of course, 10.11.12.101, which is for PSB1. 102 is there, 103 is there, but default I am taking this, hoping that this will be live all the times. So AI will be generating this API URL, but the prefix is defined here. So based on this, you will see it is a get method. And the second node that I have created here, which will be taking the input if the input is post, so it will be using the post method here. So I have created post method and the same URL, same credentials, and so on. So once it will get the response, if it is get response, it will get the unstructured response. So I have created a code here. Based on this code, it will convert this into a structured response. And then the structured response is going back to the AI model. So AI agent is again converting this into meaningful explanation and I will be getting the response back. And then for the post method, it is just simply formatting and sending it back to me. I'm not sending this back to AI agent to give me the response in a meaningful way. Of course, I can do that as well, but just I will understand that what exactly action has been performed by the AI agent. Now, this AI agent is ready to take action as I have told you that it is already linked to my Proxmox virtual environment. And let me show you side by side. So here is my Proxmox virtual environment, and here is my AI agent. So with this AI agent, I will start chatting now. So I will say, give me the information of my cluster. So it is now generating the response, and you can see here it has sent get message, send it here, and you can see here the Proxmox cluster SyncBricks has 3 nodes. The nodes are named as PSB1, PSB2, and PSB3 with IP addresses 10.11.12.101, 102, and 103. Now this information I did not add into agent, it has taken it directly from there. So if I ask it, give me the details of PSB1. PSB1 is my node, so it will again generate the get command here, and it is sending the information. So it is saying that there is a lot of information. So what information you are exactly looking for? I will ask, give me the list of VMs in PSB1. Again, it has used get command. You can see here Proxmox node PSB1 has 2 virtual machines, ID 120. You can see here 120, named PDM. Its name is PDM. 1 CPU, 2 GB RAM, and 32 GB disk space allocated. VM is currently stopped. VM ID 114 is named as YOS, and it is also 1 GB RAM and 2 GB disk space, and it is currently stopped. Neither VM is currently running. Now you can see on this particular node, I have only the containers. I don't have the VMs running. So I will ask, give me details of PSB2. So let me show you now PSB2. So PSB2 has these machines, and if I show the Proxmox node, PSB2 has several virtual machines with varying statuses. There are multiple stopped VM, including Rancher, OpenStack, Cloud Panel, and so on. So 2 VMs are currently running: ERP Next 15, which is using 1.6 GB of RAM and 0.01% of processor; Docker Engine, which is using 2.8 GB of RAM. If I ask, give me the hardware utilization of PSB2. Here you can see the node status summary, PSB2, CPU model is Intel Core i7. All the information is available here. Okay, now I want to start this Ansible, which is stopped right now. So I will send a command, start VM ID 112 on PSB3. The operation QM start was executed successfully on node PSB3. So let us see on PSB3. So we wanted to start, and here you can see the status also. So PSB3, you can see here that the VM was started. So here you can see this is the status, and now the task is okay. VM 112 is started here. So you can see here VM 112 is started. Memory utilization of PSB3. So here I will just show you that also, PSB3 summary. And if we see the memory utilization, so RAM is 76% utilized right now. Proxmox node status summary, you can see here the CPU usage is 8.67%. Memory usage, total memory is 16 GB, approximately 11.8 GB is used. 15 minus 11, of course, the remaining is 3 GB. And root file system, you can see here even the 67 GB is the disk space. So it has given me a lot of information. Of course, the more I train it, the more precise prompt I provide, it will accordingly work. I can even create the virtual machine also. So let me show you create VM 201 on PSB1 named test server, and I will say RAM 2 GB, CPU 1, disk I will leave it, and I'll show you how it has generated the response. So payload is already created, and this payload is also sent. You can see here that this payload is sent here to in the JSON format, and this is the response here. So it will post. Post is the URL PSB1 QEMU. VM ID will be 201, 1 core CPU, 2048. Exactly what I wanted it has taken. Net will be this, local disk. So it has taken all of that. You can see here that this is how AI agent is built right now. So I have provided it the intent, the adherence to the API documentation, and the structured response, and then validating the input. Let me quickly give some examples here. In order to create a VM, I can give it an example here. And similarly, I can give for deleting a virtual machine. I will not recommend you to do it. You can, of course, avoid it, but you have to give few examples, and then it will, of course, learn by itself for what has to be done next. And I will be even adding the backup and restore command also, especially backup when you want to make sure that backup is done correctly. This I'm copying from another AI agent that I have built, which is on production right now. So I have given 12 examples of different kind of options. Now, this particular node, for example, which is mentioned here, so it is taking the body also. So you have to do few iterations and then it will take you. A lot has already been done. All right, so few modifications I have done here on real time just to show you that how it works. So now suppose I have also now added the flow for delete also. Now, for example, if we want to delete something, so this flow will be running. Here you can see if the details are empty, so it will follow one track. If details are not empty, it will follow another track. And depending upon that, now the output from this will be again combined here and I will get the same output here. Let me now run another command. I'll just show you on go actually. Right now there is a 201 was created, I think. Yeah, here is 201. So let us try to delete this. So I will say delete 201 from PSB1. So it will again run the command, execute it, and here you can see the command is executed and 201 is destroyed here. You can see here the command, it was to destroy 201, status is okay. So this is how it is working. Now suppose if I want to create it on the go, create VM205. So if I don't mention any details here, so it will automatically create based on whatever is default. So it is generating from AI. So here you go. You can see here that 205 is created. So this is how it has created by default in PSP1. But if I explicitly mention here, create VM 206 with 1 GB RAM, because here if you see, it will by default create 512 MB RAM. So if I say 1 GB RAM in PSP2, so it will definitely be created here in PSP2. Here you go, executed successfully. Here you can see in PSP2, 206, it is created with 1 GB RAM. So this is how you can do it. I will just now delete it again, delete VM206 from ESP2. It will again decide which command it has to run. It has run here and 206 is destroyed. Delete VM205 from PSB1. So it will destroy it. So you will see here, immediately it will send a request. Here you go. Instantly it is deleted from the system. So I will do migrate also. Migrate VM114 from PSP1, move it to PSB3. VM114 has migrated from PSB1 to PSB3. Here you go. What has happened here? So it started and it migrated. Process is extremely simple. I have provided the link in the description. You will be able to use it according to your needs and requirements. The trigger can be anything. I'm using chat here, but of course you can use Telegram or anything. And then on this particular node, I have defined the agent. I have mentioned what will be the responsibilities of the agent and which tools the agent will be using. So this parser will be giving the output in the predefined format. So it will be taking the response type, URL, and the details. And it will be showing the message also. For example, if you have to create the VM with ID this, 4-core CPU, and so on. So depending upon this, it will be giving the response back that it has been created. So this is a message output. And based on this, of course, if type is get, post, delete, or anything, so it will be definitely accordingly, it will be choosing the flow. So I created 3 different kind of flows. Get will give you the information from the Proxmox nodes or Proxmox cluster. So based on that, the information is structured. And once it is structured, I have sent it to AI agent to generate conversational response back. And then the post request will be split into 2 HTTP requests, which are again sent to Proxmox node. One is if it has the body, another is if it doesn't have the body. So based on that, whatever response comes back, so it will execute the command here. After execution, whatever message will come back, So this message will be again displayed back to chat. And if it is delete request, so delete will be sent again here. Based on that, if it is having body, so it will go here. If it is not having body, it will go here. And finally, the output will come here. Now we can of course send this output back to AI agent also, but here it is structuring the response and changing it to information that will be readable. So whatever response is coming back from API, so it will make it readable and you will get it on the screen. Of course, I'm still developing it. There is a lot that can be done. I need your input also if you want. So this is a JSON format that can be simply imported into n8n, and this will exactly work the way it is working with me. Of course, you can start working on this. So this was all about the Proxmox AI agent. So I have taken a good amount of time to develop this AI agent, and this AI agent is now working as I was expecting. Of course, AI is changing the way we do our job, whether it is to run the basic operations on Proxmox, some complex operations, all of that can be done. So you will take some time to train your AI agent, then it will start performing the way you want it to do it. Of course, 100% accuracy is not there because I have just made it for the sake of this tutorial. Let's continue to next video and see what other AI agents can be built for Proxmox.